Oh, hey! You caught me having my morning shower. Oh, how embarrassing. Here, turn that camera off. Sorry about that. Here, just a minute. So anyways, it's Daniel Jobber here from Mars, from Alpha Beta Base. It's been over 2 years since I've been stranded here on Mars. And let me tell you, here on Alpha Base, a base which I built with my 2 hands, it is great here. There. Let me show you around a little. First, this is my personal quarters, my personal office, and my personal workshop with my 3D printer and my main plant and food fridge. And I got my own personal exit. Down the hall here I have my own personal garage/hangar, where I keep my heavy rover nice and safe. Future, whenever I come to visit, I'll always have a place to park my car safely. So I never have to wonder, where's your car, dude? Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? Dude, where's my car? And down the hall here starts the official Alpha Beta Base. So first we have the official entrance, which normally would lead to the main rocket, but unfortunately I don't have the ability to build the path to the main rocket at this time. So for now it's just laying ready for the future. If we go a little further south, we have what was my personal quarters in the original alpha base where I first started, which I will tell you more about later. As you can see, there was 3 doors. My room was on the left. We shared a bathroom on the right, and I had a buddy in this middle door who wasn't very happy to see me when I came in one time, but that was probably because he was hiding something from the original. Once again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll get to that later. But he was hiding something. And opposite of my old quarters was always the first greenhouse, and so I present to you the main greenhouse, if there is any that would be considered the main. Lots of food growing here, some lettuce, some tomatoes, potatoes, and beetroot. And at the end in the dome is my pumpkin patch. Where I plant all my pretty pumpkins. And fart, I apologize, this is a really slow transmission. It must be really slow transmission because I'm moving very, very slow. May just be a bad transmission at this point, hopefully. Up here we have the rest of the, well, most of the workers' quarters anyways. I guess the last of the workers' quarters would be appropriate. As you can see, there's 4 sets of them here. 2 are bedrooms in each set, and 1 is a bathroom. So enough to house 8 regular workers. And you see over here we have the officers' quarters, which has a bathroom and 2 rooms to seat 2 officers, and of course the original boss's room, which is right here. So nice thing is a lot of these things were off limits when I first came to Mars, but in my alpha beta base nothing's off limits. You can go anywhere. So down here we have the main dome, and in my base I decided to use a large dome so I can show off all the tree types. Show off all the pretty trees we have to plant on Mars. Aren't they pretty? Gorgeous. It's like a forest. over here we have the main HQ, which has all the workbenches and main CO2 scrubber to make sure there's plenty of oxygen for the base. And if you look, you'll see that the path continues to the south, eventually to the main exit. Alpha Beta base is also equipped with another 4 greenhouses, and with domes on the end, 2 of which are active. 1 dome here used for peppers, and another dome here used for apples, to make sure we have lots of food. And then 2 additional greenhouses and domes which are not currently in action down here. As you can see, this greenhouse contains corn and cabbage and more potatoes and beetroot, as I said. And my pepper patch, where fortunately Peter Piper can't pick a peck of pickled peppers because there's no Peter Piper on Mars. Maybe Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers on Pluto. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers on Pluto. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers on Pluto. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers on Pluto. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers on Pluto. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers on Pluto. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers on Pluto. Good Lord. Am I going the right way? Nope. Look, you can see the courtyard. And my 2 meteor defense stations. And a couple of lights. Come on. Don't need to Google home here. I don't know if we're Googling home, but we're sure Googling down the hall. We said Google home is what you do when you're done at the bar. And we have the 3rd greenhouse that's active. As you can see in here, we have some nice tomatoes and corn. More beetroot and potatoes. Never get enough beetroot especially, but beetroot and potatoes are good food. And, as promised, apple trees! We can make lots of apple cider, which is probably what I've been having too much of, which is probably why I'm Googling all over the place. And in the courtyard, I decided to build a nice 24/7 system of dual meteorite shooters, whatever you want to call them, protecting the base against the meteorite strikes, which I do also have several other ones surrounding the base as well. I also have the 2 garages. Oh! Kate, maybe you're hungry. If you're hungry, here's my canteen, consisting of a food processor, a power port where we can charge our spacesuits, that blue one over there, just like in Alpha Base, and a refrigerator. Unfortunately, just like in all the offices, there's no other furniture because they haven't, as luck would have it, given me the ability to know how to make furniture at this point. So, well, fart on them for not giving me the proper patterns to make wonderful furniture so I can make this place look good. Needs some tables and chairs and you name it. Maybe a water cooler or a water dispenser of some sort. And the offices certainly need desks, so such a shame that they decided not to give me the ability to make these. Hopefully soon enough. Till then, I guess we'll just have to stick it up our arse. Alpha Beta Base has 8 power zones, as you can see, each consisting of 8 solar panels. And each power zone produces 159 kilowatts per hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, rain or shine, without me having to lift a finger, even after a sandstorm, thanks to the 8 batteries that they are connected to, along with 8 backup batteries that reserve the power for the days when there isn't solar panel generating power. Pretty nifty. And of course, because of the fact that I don't want my own personal base to be a burden, I have my own 8 power zone I have my own 8 solar panel power zone specifically for it. Yeah, getting tongue-tied. With that, I'm able to produce the 1,250 kilowatts per hour that this Alpha Beta Base can produce, as I said, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 sols a year. Now, as I zoom out, you will see I have a giant Arssed network. Of medium antennas marking a large territory. Basically showing off every area that you could ever want to go in this map right here. We are somewhere around here, I believe. As you can see, all the areas spread out, and in case you do want to know which areas those are, I've created a legend of all the areas in the game, and so basically a perfectly made map. And you can see the ruins of the old Alpha Base. And you can see my original base at Noctis Fosse, where I first landed. We're going to get to all this soon enough. So yes, a giant Arssed network of antennas helps me keep track of what areas I've been to and what areas of territory I may want to go back to again. And one other final cool thing you might notice is the yellow, red, and green coordinates all around me. That is my homemade GPS system. Each one of those is homing in on a beacon I have created. And there is 3 in all. At the 3 various strategic points on the map. Essentially, GPS is always using triangulation. So here, for example, is Beacon 1. What are you beacon at? you would like, you can see that these points correspond to these areas on the map. 26, 27, and 28. Triangulating of these allows basically a triangulation GPS positioning. Now, why is this useful? Well, with the coordinate system built into the game, it really isn't. However, when you're flying around, you have no compass, you have no coordinates, so it kind of gives you an idea where you are and where you're going as you fly. So it's pretty cool. I like my GPS system. But yes, you can always know where you are by knowing how the coordinate system is built into the inventory screen. See, we can see where we are here. Essentially, we are not far from the crashed rocket. Which is also up around here. And not too far away from Cerberus, and there is Vallis. And of course, not too far north of the 00 coordinates, and of Mechas Chasma, which is also the Alpha base. So that's the area I decided to build this beautiful base here. If any of you have ever been to Noctis Fosse, which, if you're not up here on Mars, of course you haven't. You would see it's just over here. So that's the location I chose, right in the middle of the circle, and if you see up here, you can see the downed rocket. Which is the reason this circle is on my radar. You also might notice that I have a big rock crusher out here, and this base has a ton of water provided from 5 distinct well zones. The first one being right here. Second and third one being down here. And here. If I can just get my map to move, I'll show you the fifth one just up here. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Must be getting a really bad transmission here from Mars. There it is, and there's the final well zone. So all 4 of these come on, turn towards that door. Yep, definitely should hold down on the alcohol before creating these broadcasts. I can't seem to keep myself straight. Make you as dizzy as making me. I'm spinning in circles here. Get to my control panel. can see that those 8 power zones and the one for my main base provides 1228 power, way more than the 1159 this base needs to run all night, or 1160. And those 5 well zones provide almost 120 liters of water for our base to get the 116 it needs. And I have 80,486 liters in reserve in my big tank, so plenty of water and power. No worry about this base ever running out. Oops. And here, I got one more thing to show you. But first, we better put our helmet on.
Seat pressurized. Helmet sealed.
Towards the nearest exit.
Equalizer pressure.
Oh, it's getting dark. 5:14 already. My, how the day has passed. So what happens when you get up late and have a shower at noon? Jetpack on. Hang on, we're waiting. We going for a ride. I'll take you on over to one of my well zones. We can play everybody's favorite game show, Don't Land on the Solar Panel. Or everyone's favorite kids game. Or we can play everyone's favorite kids game, Don't Land on the Solar Panel. Don't land on the solar panel. I can go a little closer. Uh-oh. I almost crashed. How careless of me. we go, high above the well zone. You can see the crusher. Whee! Drop a doom. Drop a doom, baby! Lunar lander, eat your heart out. The Eagle has landed. One giant step for a man, but one pretty nice flight for mankind. As you can see, this well zone is my elaborate one. Lots of wells. I have my jetpack refill station here. Normally I just use them up and throw them on the ground and litter Mars, but every now and again I figure I should be responsible and fuel it back up. Which is why I built this. All my well zones are 24/7 and they are self-powered, not drawing power from the main base. And this one even has a shelter that I built originally when I first came out in this area to build Alpha Beta Base. As you can see, there's its own batteries and transformer. My crusher also has its own solar panel and battery. Or is it just solar panel? It might just be solar panel. I'm not sure if I bothered to put a battery on my crusher. I don't believe I did. Anyways, that's one of the well zones, and you see this one pipes oxygen as well, although there really isn't much point in piping oxygen. So that's the only time I did that, but you see, you pipe the water from the well zones into the Alpha Beta Base. Want to see it from the air? Iron Man, up, up, and away! More like Super Grover, your furry little pal, Super Grover. Alpha Beta Base from the sky. I am the sky. I am the sky. I'm this guy. If you look close, you might be able to see the lines coming from this other well zone. Maybe not. But you can compare Alpha Beta Base to the ruins of Alpha Base if you like. So beautiful up here. If you don't have and use and learn how to use a jetpack, you're missing out. Didn't Iron Man teach you anything? I love Robert Downey Jr. I could watch him in a million movies of Iron Man. There's the other well zones. See the two of them, the brown circles? One way off in the distance. 4 well zones, not 5. 4 well zones produce the 1.21 gigawatts. No. 1.21 gigawatts above the lightning. Oh, the 120 liters per hour, I believe. my 8 solar panel power zones, providing 159 kilowatt hours, 24/7, 365 days a year, rain or shine, without me ever having to lift a finger. Where's the ruins of Alpha Base? I should see it. Just over this ridge here, I believe. I destroyed a little of it, but I wanted to keep most of it intact because it's where it came from. Gotta remember where you came from. No matter where you go, remember where you came from. See one of my antennas? My giant Arssed network. Oh, there you go. Way off in the distance there, you can see the ruins of Alpha Base. Not a lot left, I guess. I did leave an antenna and a light, 24-hour light. Making sure if any of the colonists want to return, they would know I was here. Hopefully would go look around and see Alpha Beta Base. I guess that brown circle was a well zone at one time, but it's bone dry now. Mecus Chasma, Valles Marineris, and Alpha Base. Guess technically all one and the same. Oh well, time to fly home. Might get a glimpse of Noctis Fossae in my original base here too. My landing point of my survival pod. Yeah, there it is, way over there. Isn't it? You know what? No, that's Alpha Beta Base. We can't quite see the Noctis Fossae from up here. So let's fly there. What the heck? What the hey? Got lots of fuel. And if I don't have enough, I'll just throw the damn thing on the ground and make another one. Oh, jet lag. I'm feeling a little jet lagged here. Is this Alpha Beta Base or is it Noctis Fossae? So hard to tell from up here. This might actually be Noctis Fossae. Maybe I am here. Yes, because look at the solar panels are not right. This is my Noctis Fossae. And there's the escape pod off there to the side. That's where I first landed. Anyways, yes, that is Noctis Fossae and where it all started. Well, not quite. But that's where I was left abandoned and alone to fend for myself. Home, home, home! I've had enough. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice! See how the green, yellow, and red coordinates kind of help you figure out your bearings? Gotta keep your bearings straight. Bearing straight. There's no water bodies on Mars. Alpha Beta base in the distance. From a distance, the earth looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the seas, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, God is watching us from a distance. Alright, coming back to Alpha Beta base. Level out and start my descent. And once again, play everybody's favorite kids game. Don't land on any sensitive base structures. Actually, I could be over here more. Closer to the entrance. Did before I got my jetpack. These things are incredible. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. Animal Daniel Jobber. Ba with a ba ba dangy dang diggy diggy diggy, said the bookie, said up jumped a bookie. Oh, mama way. And we're home. One of my main water tanks. And there's my little man-made ATV. I lost the one that originally found at Noctis Fosse. Know how I lost it, but I never found it again. And a little container outside my base to store my stuff in, as an additional one besides the one on my heavy rover.
Frequency pressure. External oxygen detected. Oxygen source external. External pressure dropping.
And back to my quarters and office again. And I have lots of food. Lots of delicious, yummy food. Lots of access to tap water. Always lots of water to drink. Yep, the Alpha Beta base is ready for the colonists whenever they want to come back home. Your home is completely rebuilt, and all you have to do is come back and live in it. And, maybe give me a little bit of credit for building you a base, and, maybe make me an executive officer, and maybe even allow me to go live the life I want to live while you guys enjoy the fruits of my labor. And back to my little personal workshop. Yes, things are great here. Things are absolutely great here on Alpha Beta Base. But it wasn't always. It didn't start out this way, in fact. It started out with a little flashback.
For centuries, the planet remained a mystery.
Mystery.
After hundreds of years and multiple colonization attempts, this small manned mission might finally achieve
The impossible.
making the red planet
A place for us to live.
making humanity a
The
multi-planet
planet species.
and opening another chapter
In human
in the
history.
history of civilization.
Alpha Base. Vallis Marineris. A little more than 2 years ago perhaps, I started out arriving on Mars, recruited as an electrical engineer to Alpha Base. And Alpha Base was no picnic. But it did have rocket launch zones, unlike the future. as you might have seen. Love to have some of these things. Ah, yes, alpha base. Oh, man, the governor of the base sure put me to work right away. Had lots of repairs to do, and maintaining a base of this size is a lot of work, and it's hard work when you're short on staff of electrical engineers. Man, I miss these days when I was sober and fast and could zip through the halls like this. 2 years of hard work and too much exploration sure takes its toll on a guy. Ah, this medium dome sure looks small compared to the large dome of Alpha Beta base. And back then there was a full infirmary, and we sure need to get a lot of these structures. I wish I could build all this stuff, and a medic as well. And a social scene in the full of furniture. Canteen was a sight to behold. Ah, yes, Alpha Base. Ha, memories. Interesting people, but so much work to do, and I didn't know how I was going to fit in long term. But, as luck would have it, my time on Alpha Base was not to last long, regardless. Because while I was doing a very important task of soldering a circuit board, a rocket blew up and crashed. Setting Alpha Base ablaze with fire and radiation and chaos. All sorts of no fun. I was knocked unconscious, and when I came to, oh, the horrors. Horrible sights. I was forced to try to escape Alpha Base with my life. And this wasn't easy, because when I got to the main rocket, the main rocket with all the colonists had already taken off without me, leaving me to run for safety of the southern exit. And make my way to a single escape pod. And it was a race against the clock, trying to escape the doomed Alpha Base. Somehow I made it out. detour.
Incoming message.
But in the end, I made it to my escape pod. And managed to get away from the sad, poor, doomed Alpha Base. I barely knew you. God rest your soul.
Prove your failure.
I blasted off in the sky, but fortunately my rocket failed and had to dump me and my pod into the Martian atmosphere. And for moments I was terrified, but the survival pod knew what it was doing. You sure you know what you're doing? And lucky for me, it set me down safely in Noctis Fosse with a little max headroom and a bit of stuff going on there.
Launch escape procedure completed. Emergency power generator active. Emergency oxygen generator active. Comms down. Detected nearby. Underground ice. Abandoned buildings. Small vehicle. Alpha base status. Critical damage. Radiation alert. No information on survivors. Caution, this escape pod is designed only for short-term survival. Lockers contain basic building materials and food rations sufficient.
Hey, you're stealing my thunder, lady.
Recommended construction of room for water and solar panel for spacesuit recharging. Emergency access to technologies beyond your experience level temporarily granted. Obtain necessary permissions and confirm through the Tech Tree tab ASAP. It is mandatory to read the FAQ. ERA is not liable for any injuries or death. Lawsuits will be respected. Good luck.
Fart, I thought she was never going to stop with that. So anyways, as I said, it put me down in Noctis Fosse, alone, with just my pod and what's in it and my wits to survive. I felt sad for the loss of Alpha Base. And I knew that it had to be rebuilt. And I vowed that one day I would be the one to do it. But first, I had to survive. If you will join me in the next few episodes, I will go through my memory of how I did it, how I got from there to here, and give you tips and tricks, and if you ever happen to be in the same boat stranded on Mars, you'll know what to do as well. So I hope you'll join me, Danimal Daniel Jobber, as we journey in the world of Occupy Mars. We're everywhere, we're everywhere. By the way, if you like this, once again, my name is Daniel Jobber, aka Bad Player 03, and I have a YouTube channel and Twitch channels, and I look forward to seeing you in future episodes. Make sure you like, subscribe, and everything if you're watching on YouTube, and check me out in the next episode. Bye now.